Sage, you have the audacity to come in here and say, what's up? Well, I'll tell you what's up. Obviously not my win total in OJ's juicery, and obviously not my spirits after the Jays failed to win game one. That's what's up. Or I guess we should say that's what's not up. So, yeah, I'm in a great mood right now, Sage. I'm in a real great mood. Kind of just, oh my God. It started out real nice. We had a Springer dinger on the first pitch of the game, and guess what? We got one hit the rest of the way. That hit being in the second inning by Santander. A single that went for two because of an error. So that's what's up. Blue Jays pitched pretty good. Gossman was really good until the fifth inning when he had to face Cal Naughton. Cal Naughton hit a home run. Then he got a walk. Then they yanked him. They brought in Brendan Little, who proceeded to throw a wild pitch and then let a hit to Jorge Polanco. And then that was pretty much the game there. Varland had a scoreless, seventh inning. And Dominguez let a fucking run in the goddamn eighth inning. But it's a 3-1 loss. We're down 1-0. Statistically speaking, Seattle now has a 64% chance at winning this series. That's just stats. And I really think Seattle is going to win this series now. Unless Trey Savage can play heroics. But I think you're asking a lot of a rookie to go out there and, get a win tomorrow. I mean, I get that you're at home. To me, it's a must-win. Otherwise, this series is over. But we'll see what happens. Good on Seattle. They had a pretty good effort. I mean, their pitching was lights out. The reason why I think this was a must-win, though, is Bryce Miller is effectively their five-starter. So the pitching matchup should have definitely favored us, and it did favor us. But Bryce Miller, after a bit of a rocky start, we had a chance to get to him after the home run allowed. We got a couple guys on base. Didn't do anything with it, and then he went 10 or 12 outs in a row without letting a hit or whatever. He was outstanding. I don't know why he couldn't pitch this good for me when he was on my fantasy team, but it is what it is. Bryce Miller did great, and their bullpen slammed the door the rest of the way. So it's 1-0 Mariners. The Jays are going to play tomorrow. It'll be Trey Savage up against Logan Gilbert, so a tough pitching matchup. That game will be on at 5:03 Eastern Standard Time. And then we've got Game 1, the Dodgers and the Brewers. Blake Snell's going to toe the rubber, and I don't know who's pitching for Milwaukee. It's just to be determined. I suspect either way, Blake Snell will get the win there. The Dodgers will go up 1-0, and most likely the Mariners will be up 2-0 after tomorrow's game. Let's get to the NFL. Sage, did you get a chance to watch much of the NFL? Were you up super early to watch the great game that was the Denver Broncos playing the New York Jets overseas? Did you have a chance to watch that gem of a game? I'm going to guess Sage wasn't up to watch that game. I got a hell no as a response. I'll just give you the lowdown. Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos improved to 4-2. Bo Nix was not very good. His QBR was 37.3. His rating was good, but he was not very good. A 5.8 average with a touchdown, 174 yards, 19 for 30. Not really going to get the job done. Speaking of not getting the job done, J.K. Dobbins didn't get the job done for me. He only had 40 yards on 14 carries for 4 fucking fantasy points. I'm really happy I traded for fucking J.K. Dobbins, it's just, no. I don't want to talk about fucking fantasy right now. We'll get to that after. Now, kind of on the hilarious side of things, and this is kind of funny. So, Justin Fields was 9 for 17 today. He threw for 45 yards. He took 9 sacks for 55 lost yards. He had more fucking yards lost via sacks than he did passing the ball. I don't know how many times that's been done in the history of the NFL, but it's impressive in like the most unimpressive kind of way. So the Jets moved to 0-6. Looks like they're going to potentially be the number 1 overall pick. I didn't think the Aaron Glenn signing was very good when they did it. Defensive-minded coordinators are not the way to go for the most part. I don't think he brings a culture. I'm just going to say it right now. The Jets will be firing him in 2 years. That's all I'm going to say. Next game we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played a tough defense in the Cleveland Browns. Managed to get a win, 23-9. So looks like the Steelers defense is starting to come into their own. They improved to 4-1, whereas the Browns are now 1-5. As miserable as the Jets and the Titans, though I like their team a little bit better, at least on the defensive side of things. I think they got some things going there. But Dylan Gabriel was asked to pass far too much. 29 fucking completions out of 52 attempts. You're asking a rookie to pass way too much. And he only averaged 4 per throw, so that's pretty terrible. 66 rating. The rushing game really couldn't get going. Like, their leading rusher had 36 yards on 12 carries. Not very good, but I'm happy that Aaron Rodgers was able to pick up the win. He had a 2-touchdown game, 115.3 rating, 21 for 30. So looks like he still has it. And DK Metcalf, 4 receptions for almost 100 yards, including a touchdown. Looks like they're starting to find a little bit of chemistry. So I know that the Steelers next week have the Bengals. If they can pull that game off and then Baltimore loses to whoever they're playing, that's a stranglehold for that division. So I do think the Steelers are the team to beat in the AFC North, unless there's a big choke down the stretch by the Steelers, as well as a huge winning streak by the Baltimore Ravens. This game here was a bit closer than expected. The Chargers narrowly defeated the Miami Dolphins 29-27. I think it came down by a fucking kick by Dicker to win the game. Justin Herbert was pretty good, 29 for 38, 264 yards with 2 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa, whatever his fucking name is, I'll just call him Tua, was pretty bad. I'm surprised this game was as close as it was. He threw 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. No idea how this game was close. It looks like, though, the Chargers had a fumble. So, I don't know. That's still closer than really it should have been with how Tua was passing. But yeah, they're now 1-5, so another dumpster fire of a team right there with Tennessee, the Browns, and the lowly Jets. Continuing to impress is Drake May. He had 140 rating today, 3 touchdowns, 18 for 26 for 261 yards. Their running game was kind of pathetic, as, go figure. I've got both the running backs on New England, and neither one of them could get their shit together. Combined, they would have got me fucking 45 fucking yards. I'm tired of Travion Henderson. I'm tired of Ramondre Stevenson. There might be just an absolute fucking fire sale by my team. And you might see some guys getting dropped that, I don't want to drop, or guys getting traded I don't want to trade. It's time to shake things up, because I'm about there with the fucking New Orleans Saints, who's also 1-5, much like Miami and the other teams just listed. I'm going to be 1-5 soon as well, so I can't even talk shit about these fucking teams. Anyways, New England improves to 4-2. They are a threat for that division. I do think that the Buffalo Bills will take care of it, but they do currently hold the tiebreakers, so we'll see what happens there. Speaking of, I can't believe I'm saying this right now. This seems like a theme. Every game we're going over, it's speaking of 1-5 teams, Baltimore just they just lost 17-3 to the Rams, which was expected with Cooper Rush starting. But Baltimore's 1-5. I've never watched a Baltimore team, and I've been watching Baltimore since I want to say around 2005, 2006. Because I was actually a Flacco fan when they drafted him. I think it was the 2008 season. It's either 7 or 8. I think it was 2008. And I think Matt Ryan came the year after, or vice versa. Anyways, I've never seen a defense this pathetic for the Ravens. Now this day doesn't really show a bad defense. I mean, they only let 17 points. I mean, Matt Stafford was okay. One touchdown, less than 200 yards. They actually held the rushing in check to 74 yards overall. But this is the worst defense that I've seen from Baltimore ever. I'm not using today as, an indicator of that, but the Rams are now 4-2. They took care of business. They did what they had to. We kind of figured that was the case. Now, I wasn't really aware when I made my prediction last night that the Cardinals would be starting Jacoby Brissett. I guess Kyler Murray has some sort of a toe injury. But I was right that they covered that 9.5-point spread. They lost 31-27 to the Colts, who improved to 5-1. Daniel Jones 2 touchdowns and a pick, so he had another pretty good game. Jonathan Taylor, though, is running like a beast right now. And Tyler Warren seems like he's absolutely legitimate. Had another touchdown, 6 receptions for 63 yards. So keep an eye on him. He does look to be pretty damn good. This one was not really a surpriser to me. The Seahawks going on the road against the Jaguars. Both teams are now 4-2 after Seattle won 20-12. Sam Darnold just looked pretty damn good when he threw the ball. I mean, he was only 16 for 27, but a 10.9 average. He was not scared to throw the ball down the field. Their rushing attack kind of scares me a little bit in a bad way. They only had 60 rushing yards on 26 carries as a team. I know I've got Kenneth Walker on my team. He hasn't been very good. Charbonnet hasn't been very good rushing, so maybe they need to get another running back in the fold. And, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he was okay today, had 2 touchdowns, but he was not making the deep passes that Sam Darnold was. So, no surprise here. Seattle wins, and that's all there is to it. And I keep thinking, this is, I think I predicted Carolina to cover last night, and I said, Carolina's been maybe one of the harder teams to pick one way or the other. I mean, they could be really good or really bad. Well, today they beat Dallas, and they won 30-27. I mean, it's not that Dak Prescott and them didn't play. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns for 261 yards, 125 rating. So Dallas did what they needed to. Now, Dallas couldn't stop the run at all. I mean, Rico Dowdle went crazy. He was fired up after the team that cut him. He was fired up to face him. 6.1 average, 183 yards and 30 carries. Pretty nuts. Bryce Young, though, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's looking like an okay quarterback most weeks, 115 rating. So, big win for Carolina, who is currently second in the division behind whatever fucking team it is that's 4-2. I think it's Tampa Bay or some shit like that. We'll take a look at the standings after because we haven't done that this year. I know Sage is happy about this next one. Tennessee, also one of the 1-5 teams, lost 20-10 to the Raiders. It must be pretty bad if you're losing to the Raiders. And you shouldn't have beat the Cardinals. You guys should be 0-6 right there with the Jets. I'd actually be really pissed right now over that Carolina game and how that just kind of unfolded, because right now you'd be looking at first or second for your draft pick, and instead you're not. Really weren't able to do anything offensively. Cam Ward, putrid kind of stats, 5.8 average, touchdown and interception. Tony Pollard wasn't very effective. Tajay Spears was pretty effective on 5 carries. Going the other way, I mean, Ashton Giante really hasn't ran the way I'd like to see him run yet. He only had 75 yards on 23 carries. Geno Smith, go figure, threw a pick, but he also had a touchdown. They did what they needed to do to win, but 1-5, Sage. 1-5. And speaking of 1-5, we'll go to a team that's now 5-1. The Tampa Bay Bucks continue to impress. Baker Mayfield with a pretty efficient game, 17 for 23, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns. The average is pretty whopping, 11.1 yards per throw. Pretty crazy, 139 rating. Running the ball, they were okay. They averaged 4 yards per carries on 4 yards per touch on 26 carries. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, he was pretty good today. 7 receptions, 57 yards, 54 rushing. Mac Jones, though, kind of showed his ugly side. He had, pretty good yards, 350 yards, but I think he threw a interception on the first drive and then obviously one later in the game, so they dropped the ball 30-19. Next game we're going to cover is Kansas City. Kansas City surprised me. They improved to 3-3 against Detroit. They won pretty handily. I mean, 30-17. I thought Detroit would keep this one close, and I actually thought Detroit would potentially win this game as well. Jared Goff wasn't bad, 23 for 29 with 2 touchdowns, obviously 119 rating. But I wonder how much, he slowed down later in the game when he was asked to pass, you know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes had his first or second good game of the year, 132 rating with 3 touchdowns, so they're starting to get it together a little bit. It sucks that they're 3-3, but at the same time, they did do the Packers a favor because with the Packers win today over the Bengals, 27-18, the Packers are the number 1 seed in the NFC North. Game, they made it close. The Bengals kind of made it closer than really it should have been. I really feel like Jordan Love needs to clean up some things. I don't care if his rating was 101. The pick that he threw early in the game, I think it was in the first or second quarter, I can't remember. You just gotta throw the ball away, man. It's early. I think it was a first down play. Just chuck it away, man. Just chuck it away. Live to play another down. Can't be spoon feeding fucking points. Even though it didn't end up costing us, it's a red zone pick. It cost us at least 3 points. You can't do it. It's fucking unbelievable, honestly. Matthew Golden really showed up for the Packers today. 3 receptions, 86 yards. Showed his hands off on one of the plays. Had a couple of rushes as well, so he went for 16 yards. Josh Jacobs, went on fire as well. 93 yards and 18 carries. Definitely his best game of the year with 2 touchdowns. Then again, it was against the Bengals, so can't make too much of it, but still, a win is a win. We both expected that, what's his face there, Micah Parsons would go off, but I know advanced stats are going to like what Micah Parsons did, but I think he only had 1 tackle for a loss or a half tackle for a loss, or they didn't even give him the tackle for a loss because it was a combined hit, I guess. He had three total tackles, but he did not. He did not get any sacks. That's the only thing that's getting annoying. Well, Golden's going to be okay, but Golden is going to be competing with, Romeo Doubs, Tucker Kraft, fucking Dontavian Wicks. Then you've got Jaden Reed and Christian Watson coming back in the next couple weeks. It's going to be hard for Golden to be a fantasy guy. Yeah, he did all right today, but it's going to be hard for him to be a fantasy guy. Well, if you want Golden, you can trade me a running back because I've got a running back need. If you want to put Derrick Henry in a trade, we can talk because I need a running back, and I really need to make it big. I'll overpay for running backs. Absolutely, I'll overpay. So yeah, I could throw him in a deal for sure. But yeah, the Packers though, the pressure's been there, but we only had 1 sack today, so I don't think it's a problem. Nice to see Luka Vaness get his first sack of the year. Honestly, he's been playing better this year, but at the same time, he's gonna need to get a couple more sacks going. I just feel like we're close, but we're not. We got to get there a little bit. We got to get there a little bit more for a forced fumble or something. It's just not. Hasn't been our year for sacks yet. Pressure's great. I know the advanced stats like it, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at the standings after damn near week 6. We can re-look at them tomorrow if needed. I don't think much will change, so I'll just keep a mental note about the Bills and Falcons and all those other shit teams. But currently, the Bills are number 1 of the division, 4-1 record. If they lose tomorrow, New England 4-2 would jump to first place. Then you've got the Miami Dolphins 1-5 and the New York Jets 0-6. I'll ask one question: how long until Mike McDaniels of Miami gets fired? I'm gonna say as early as this week. I would say as early as this week, potentially the week after, but I'm pretty sure if you're a Miami fan, you're gonna be calling for him to be fired. I would hope you would be anyway. As stated, in the AFC North, Pittsburgh is currently number 1 with a 4-1 record. Bengals are second place, but we might not see the Bengals win again for another month or two. 2-4 record. Kind of sad they started off really hot this year, something they never do every other year. But they've got a negative 80 point differential right now. And it's not much better for the Baltimore Ravens, who's 1-5 with a negative 50 net pointage. And it's not much better for Cleveland, who's 1-5 with a negative 64 point differential. So you're kind of seeing a lot of bad teams in both the AFC East and the AFC North. The AFC was supposed to be strong. I guess not. AFC South, of course, Indy is a legit-looking team right now. 5-1 record. I do think they are the best team in that division, without just looking at the record. Jacksonville 4-2. I think they're the second best team in that division. I mean, Houston's 2-3. You could argue by the end of the year, one or the other will be 2, the other will be 3, but not a terrible division. You got Tennessee in last place, 1-5, but certainly not as bad as the other 2 divisions we just went over. And the AFC West, a pretty tough division. I think right now the Chargers probably are the best team in the division, not even just record-wise, 4-2. Denver's 4-2, but I think they're going to dwindle. I think Kansas City will pass them soon. And if Kansas City continues to get, good production from Patrick Mahomes passing, you're going to see Kansas City win this division again. It's between, to me, the Chiefs and the Chargers. The Raiders are a non-factor here. They've got a negative 46 point differential. And I think the Chargers are also due for a bit of a slump here, too. So I'd probably say the Chiefs are the team to beat here. I don't trust the Broncos. I just don't. I know they've got a great defense, but I'm just not buying what they're selling on offense. Yeah, let's take a look at the NFC. Philadelphia Eagles, we know, have taken a big step back this year. 4-2. They could easily be a 2-4 team. They've actually got a negative 1 point differential right now. So when I say I don't think they're as good as their record, well, the point differential suggests they should be what? 2-4 or 3-3. More so than 4-2. But it is what it is. The Washington Commanders are in second with a 3-2 record. Point differential's looking a little better for them at 33. I forget who they play tomorrow. I probably should take a quick look and see what tomorrow's matchups are and break those down at the end here. Forgot we had fucking games tomorrow. Why is it not showing me the fucking games? Guess I gotta go to fucking NFL.com and it'll take me to some other fucking website. Come on. Okay, so they've got a favorable matchup. They're up against the Bears. So, yeah, I actually think the Commanders are going to win this division. They should beat the Bears tomorrow at home. So, yeah, I think they'll improve to 4-2. Cowboys kind of blew a tire today. Negative 6 point differential. I mean, they're so hit or miss. They can't stop the run. Like, you can't let Dowdle run for 183 yards. That's just fucking terrible. The Giants, 2-4. The Giants are so much more advanced than all those teams I mentioned that are 1-5 or 0-6, with the exception of Baltimore when Lamar Jackson comes back. Obviously, the Giants are pretty good. They're a team I don't want to play. Are arguably the best defensive line in football. NFC North, as stated, Packers are number one, 3-1-1 record. That's why I'm not so sad about taking a tie. Taking a loss, well, we'd still be in first place, but it's kind of like having a half-game lead or a 1.5 game lead right now over Detroit. Still going to play them again, though, I think on Thanksgiving. American Thanksgiving, of course. Minnesota 3-2. Chicago Bears 2-2. The only team with a negative point differential in our division is the Bears. And I think the Bears are okay, but yeah, they're not going to be a factor here. This is definitely a tough division. The NFC East is a pretty tough division as well, but I don't really trust Dallas so much. Not really trusting Philly as much either. So I think our division is currently tougher than theirs. And then you kind of go to the NFC South, and this is where, yeah, you've got a 5-1 team, so you got a great team in Tampa. They're 5-1. What concerns me a little bit is that they only have a 14 net differential for their points. So they're not winning blowouts or anything. They're not a dominant team by any stretch. And they are in the weakest division, I believe, in the NFC. Because Carolina, yeah, they're 3-3, negative 14 point differential. Falcons 2-2, negative 10 point differential. The Saints 1-5, negative 49 point differential. So, yeah, you might see Tampa Bay there right now. Let's just see how the schedule goes when they start playing some better teams. Not that they haven't played bad teams, but I don't really think San Francisco 49ers with Mac Jones is a huge fucking thing, especially when Fred Warner gets injured. And they've had injuries to their wide receivers, their tight end, etc., etc. This is another division I would probably say is the best division in football, the NFC West. This is what's really kind of hilarious when you look at it. So right now, the 49ers lead the division 4-2. They're the only team in the division with a negative point differential at negative 3. Then you've got the Seahawks plus 49 with the point differential, 4-2 record. The Rams 4-2 with a plus 30 differential, and the Arizona Cardinals 2-4. The Arizona Cardinals should very easily be a 4-2 team right now. They kind of do scare me. I know they're coming to Green Bay next week, or we're going out on the road to play them. If we're playing Kyler Murray, this is going to be a game, and this is going to be a game that comes down to the wire. So the NFC West, it's between the NFC West and the NFC North for the best divisions in the NFC, in my opinion. And if you kind of look at the other in the AFC, top division's probably going to be the AFC West with the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs. So I just thought we'd go over the standings. We haven't done it yet this year. I would like it to be kind of like it was back in the day when we was like, okay, 4 games in, let's go over, the quarter mark. But there is no fucking quarter mark anymore. It's like a fucking 27.5 mark, so it gets all fucked up. I don't want to talk about what I'm about to talk about, but I do have to go over it a little bit here. Right before their bye week, you think the Dolphins will fire Mike McDaniels, which is coming up. When's their bye week? The only problem is if they got one more game before their bye week, are they going to fire him after a win? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so anyway. But yeah, before we get to it, now the Packers, if the Packers are playing Jacoby Brissett, they better be able to fucking shut down Arizona a little bit, because Arizona right now, yeah, I know they got Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, etc., etc. They don't have a running game. Like Trey Benson and the guy that used to play for Pittsburgh there that got injured. Forget his name. The name's escaping me right now. James Conner. I mean, their running backs are banged up right now, so we should be able to pitch a shutout and beat up on the Cardinals if their injuries sustain the way that they have been. But yeah, let's take a look at the juicery here. And this league is very close to being deleted. Just say the word and I'll delete it, Sage. I'm losing 288 to 238. It's a hard count in that. She's projected for 313. I'm projected for 245. This will be the first time I've ever started any league 1-5. I've started 1-2 or 1-3 before and then wheeled off a win streak. I don't think we have it in us this year. I think we might have partied a little bit too hard after our Pete Rose Bowl Cut championship, and it's a World Series hangover in effect here. So I think that's what's going on. Too much Donaire, too much champagne. Not a good combo. Should have stuck with beer and Donaire. Didn't do it. Tommy Callahan's Auto Parts finds himself in a cockfight with Patchwork Pigskins. Currently winning 269 to 224. However, the projections indicate a 295 to 287 victory in favor of Patchwork Pigskins. Deflate These Balls, having an off week, still projected to win. Currently stuck 240 to 225, but projected to win 283 to 264.5. And finally, TD's in Your Face, currently up 225 to 197, projected to win 275 to 246.5. So if all those projections go right, both myself and Tim Tebow's Bible Club are deep in a dark cellar, and I don't think we're coming out of it. It's time to put us down like Old Yeller while we're in that cellar. So I'm open for business. Any position you guys need, I'll trade you, and you just give me a draft pick in next year's draft. And actually one good thing about Yahoo, I know everyone wants to get off Yahoo because of its interface being shitty and all this fucking shit. You can actually trade picks in here. I don't think you could do that with ESPN, can you? You can trade picks if you want. If we had a keeper league going right now, you can trade a fucking pick. Like, I'd be in rebuild right now. I wouldn't even be fucking, no questions asked. You want a player? Come get him. Anyways, I'm very disappointed in myself as a GM. It's hard when you have these moments to, keep going. I will persevere through the season, but this is the hardest challenge yet. Basically, everyone is going to be 500 or better, and I'm looking at a 17.6 win percentage. I don't think there's any way. I don't think there's any way to get back into this. I think it's over. Huh. This will be the first fantasy league I've never made the playoffs to. Should have kept Graham. Graham could have, been the bottom feeder for us. Should have fucking kept Graham. Whose idea was it to fire Graham? I don't want to hear that it was my idea. I'd never do that. I'd never. We need. It wasn't my idea, Sage. I think that you had a voodoo doll or something. You made me do things that I didn't want to do with that doll. I think this is all on you. Anyways, we'll see how the 2 games go tomorrow. So one game will have good announcing. The other game will have piss poor announcing. Plus, we've got the Blue Jays losing tomorrow with Trey Savage on the mound. So I'm out of here. I'm fucking out of here. Have a good night, guys. We'll be back at it tomorrow.